you all. We will start with the chapter number 5, Social and Reforms. So before we start, let me give you a quick introduction to the lesson. The spread of English education led to new thoughts, new ideas, new philosophy. Indians were introduced to Western thoughts and culture. There were changes in social, religious, economic, and cultural aspects of Indian society. Educated people became aware that the backwardness of India was due to superstition, casteism, old custom, class system, and lack of critical outlook. Felt it necessary to eradicate the flaws and undesirable tendencies for the progress of the country. Okay, now as I told you, we had seen that the British, they had started Western education. So what happened because of it? Because of the Western education, new thoughts, new ideas, new philosophy, all this had uh, to change. Okay, people's mind started to change. People came to know what is right and what is wrong. They came out of their superstitious belief. Okay, all were believing in superstitions. But then what happened? There was change. People came to know the reality. They started believing in what is right and what is wrong. Okay, and because of that it was necessary to eradicate the flaws. Flaws means all the drawbacks and all the undesirable tendencies, whatever was wrong. They wanted to they wanted to remove it. Why? For the progress of the country. Need for creating a new society based on the principles of humanity, equality, and fraternity. Okay, now all the people who were illiterate, okay, they felt the need to change the society. So they developed these values. What were the values? The values of humanity, equality, and fraternity. Then social awareness was created through writings to solve the various problems in the society. What happened? They started writing in newspapers. The reformers and all, they started writing so that people could read and people could come to know what is the reality. The intellectual awakening in the contemporary society is called the Indian Renaissance. Okay, now this year, but Renaissance also we had studied in the second chapter. It means a new birth, a new revival. So same thing happened in India as well. India followed the Western culture. It also changed. There was an intellectual awakening. Intellectual mind, the thoughts of the people started changing. They started believing in the reality of the world rather than superstition, believing in superstitions. Okay, this is known as the intellectual awakening, and this came to be known as the changes in India, the rebirth, revival in India is known as the Indian Renaissance. Then to bring about all these changes, okay, there were many institutions. Simply people just blindly did not believe on anyone. Okay, there were many institutions which had come up, okay, to awaken the mind of the people. So these are the names of various institutions which had come to bring a change in the society. What were these? It was the Brahmo Samaj, the Prarthana Samaj, the Satya Shodhak Samaj, the Arya Samaj, and the Ram Krishna Mission. Okay, these are the various Samaj, these are the various institutions. Okay, these are institutions known as institution which came up to awaken the mind of people, to bring about a change in the society. Okay, and in this lesson, we will learn about all these institutions. What were these institutions? What were their principles? And who founded them? The first one is the Brahmo Samaj. Now, the Brahmo Samaj in 1828, Raja Ram Mohan Roy established the Brahmo Samaj in Bengal. Who had established the Brahmo Samaj? It was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. You can see the picture of it. Okay, he is Raja Ram Mohan Roy and he was a reformer. Reformer means a person who brings changes in the society. Okay, that is known as a reformer. So, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, he was a reformer, studied many languages and religions, and through it, his idea of Advaita philosophy developed. Okay, he had studied many languages, many religions to bring a change in the society. Even they need to study everything what is happening in the society. Were believing, what were the languages used by the people. He wanted to teach them. So he developed the thought of Advaita philosophy. Now, what is this Advaita philosophy? It is a philosophy where he had become an expert. Okay, he started teaching the people. Then monotheism. caste and class equality, protest against rituals, and following the way of prayers were the principle of the Brahmo Samaj. If I ask you what is the principle of Brahmo Samaj, the principles were first monotheism. Monotheism means to believe in one God. Mono means see one. You must have studied even in maths. Monomial, binomial, okay, all that one, two. So mono means one. So what first is the principle of Brahmo Samaj? First, it believed in monotheism. That means only one God, to believe only in one God. Then caste and class equality, to consider all the people belonging to different caste and classes as equal. That is not to treat the higher class, the lower class different. Okay, all the people were one under the Brahmo Samaj. Then protest against the rituals. Protest against the ritual means whatever people were following rituals, that is the puja, arti, he did not believe. The Brahmo Samaj did not believe in that. Okay, because they believed only in one God, and their main aim was that people should only pray to God. They did not rituals people were following, the beliefs which people were doing. Okay, then following the way of prayers. We follow the prayers, that is whatever is the holy book. Okay, whatever is the holy book of any one religion, only they should follow that. These were the principles of the Brahmo Samaj. Then opposed sati practice, child marriage. Okay, sati practice, we had already studied about sati practice also. You all even know what is child marriage. So he opposed these things. Now, what is this parda system? Okay, but this means you must have heard seen that women in early times they were not given importance. Okay, they had to stay only within walls. They had to cover themselves with a dupatta. Were not allowed to show their face. Okay, they were not allowed in anything in politics or any to take part in the society matters in any political terms. Okay, so this is known as the parda system. That is, a woman is covered only in four walls. Okay, they're not allowed to out of that four walls, only look after the household and look after their family. So even he opposed the system. Okay, so what the Brahmo Samaj opposed? The Brahmo Samaj opposed the sati system, the child marriage, and the Varna system. They promoted widow remarriage and female education and founded Hindu College in Calcutta. Okay, what they promoted, widow remarriage. Even earlier times, if a husband dies, a woman was not allowed to remarry. Okay, throughout her life, the woman had to stay single only. So what the Brahmo Samaj did, they promoted, they started giving education to these women. Okay, and they even founded a Hindu college in Calcutta. They started giving importance to women. Okay, this was their main aim. What was the main aim of the Brahmo Samaj? To promote women's education, to give them rights, to give them equality. Just because the husband is married does not mean that their life is over. Okay, they promoted new beginning for them. Then he created public awareness through Samvad Kaumudi newspaper. This is the name of the newspaper. Okay, he even started newspaper so that the public become aware and come to know what is right and what is wrong and stop believing in superstitions. Then the next is Prarthana Samaj. Dadoba Pandurang Tarkhadar established Paramhansa Sabha in Mumbai in 1848. Paramhansa Sabha was dissolved and some of its members founded the Prarthana Sama. Okay, so the Prarthana Sama, it was originally known as the Paramhansa Sabha. What was Prarthana Sama originally known as? It was known as the Paramhansa Sabha, and it was established, it was started by Dadoba Pandurang Tarkhadkar. Okay, and in the year 1848 in Mumbai. Then later on, when the Samaj was almost had come to an end, some of its members, that is members of the Paramhansa Sabha, they started the Prarthana Sama. They founded the Prarthana Sama. That means they renamed it. Then Dada's brother, Dr. Atmaram Pandurang, was the first president of the Prarthana Prarthana Samaj. See, initially, what was its name? It was Paramhansa Sabha, and it was established by Dadoba Pandurang. But later on, it was renamed as Prarthana Samaj. And who was the first president of the Prarthana Samaj? It was Dr. Atmaram Pandurang. The enrollment of young graduates from Mumbai University increased the prestige of the institution. Okay, there were more and more people, more and more young students who had come from the university, Mumbai University, and even they had followed, they were involved in this institution. Justice Ranade, Dr. R.G. Bandarkar carried forward the work of the Prarthana Samaj. Okay, it had started by Dr. Atmaram, but later on the work was continued by Justice Ranade, Dr. R.G. Bandarkar. Okay, then the opposition to idol worship, monotheism, opposition to ritual were the principles of the Prarthana Samaj. Okay, we've studied about the principles of the Brahma Samaj. Now, these are the principles of the Prarthana Samaj. What was the principle? First, opposition to idol worship. They did not believe in worshipping idols. Idol means statues. Okay, they did not believe in worshipping that. Monotheism. Even they believed that there is only one God and we should believe in one God. Opposition to rituals. Even they oppose the rituals, ritual which people were following, like the sati system. Okay, and all those rituals, even they opposed that thing. So these were the principles of the Prarthana Samaj. What is monotheism? Means believing only in one God, that there is only one God and we should only believe in him. We started orphanage, night school for the workers and for the Dalits. See, in Brahmo Samaj, we saw that they promoted and they focused on women's education, isn't it? So, but in the Prarthana Samaj, what was their aim? They started orphanage. Orphanage means schools for the poor children who had no one for them. Like they had no parents. They were just abandoned on the roads or somewhere. So the Prarthana Samaj, they had started orphanage for these students to educate the students so that they could bring change in the society. Then they even started night school for the workers. Workers means these peasants, poor people who work on daily wages. Okay, so even to educate these people, now daily it was not possible for them to attend school or to get proper education. So what did the Pratna Samaj do was they started night school so that even these people are educated. Then night school for the workers and for the society for I hope Dalits are the lower class people. Okay, they form the society because these Dalits, they were not given equal rights. They were not treated equally in the society. So the Pratna Samaj aimed at uplifting these Dalits and providing education for these Dalits. Then Maharshi Vittal Ramji Shinde established depressed classes mission. What is this depressed class? Now see, people who belong to the lower class, okay, such as the Dalits. Example are the Dalits. These people are known as the depressed classes. Okay, people belonging to the lower status in the society. They are known as the depressed class. So Maharshi Vittal Ramji, what he did, he established a mission for them so that even these people, the poor, the Dalit people, even they can come up in the society. It was about the work of the Prarthana Samaj. Then the next is the Satya Shodak Samaj. Okay, now before moving to the Satya Shodak Samaj, let me ask you a few questions. Institution is the Satya Shodak Samaj. Mahatma Jyotirao Phule started the Satya Shodak Samaj in 1873. Who started the Satya Shodak Samaj? Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. It worked on the principles of formation of society on basis of equality and protested against untouchability. Now, what were the principles of the Satya Shodak Samaj? They also believed in equality and protested against untouchability. Now, let me tell you what is this untouchability. The lower caste people, they were known as untouchables. Okay, and there was a thing prevailing in the society at that time. It was that even the shadows of these lower class people, okay, like the Dalits or the depressed classes, which I told you, even if their shadow would fall on the high class people, they would beat them, Okay, these people would be beaten because there was very much inequality. Okay, the higher class used to think that only they are superior, and they would not even talk, or they did not even involve the lower class people within with them. Okay, that means even their shadows, if they're walking, and even if the shadow would fall on these people, the lower class people would be beaten. So that's why the Satyashodak Samaj, they aimed and they protested against this act of untouchability because they wanted to bring unity. Then advocated education of women and depressed classes, reformed the society through the medium of books like Brahmanache Kasab, Gulamgiri, Shetkaryache Asud, and Sarvajanik Satya Dharma. Okay, these are the names of the book. So they reformed the society. They wanted to bring changes in the society. That is why they wrote books so that people could read and understand and uh, get involved in the society and fight for their rights. He criticized a tradition and custom that made discrimination between man and women, or rather human being himself. He criticized all the customs which were there, okay, which brought about discrimination between man and women, like only the woman has to sit within the pardas. The woman was not allowed to participate in any political aspects or do anything else. So these things, okay, the discrimination, which was there was a discrimination between man and women in many terms, okay, at that point of time. So these institutions helped to bring about a change in the society. See, today, in today's generation, we consider man and women as equal, right? Even many of your parents, both your parents must be working, and even if your mom is going to work, if your dad is at home, even he must be helping in their daily course. Okay, so all these things are happening, is possible now. Why? Because at that point of time, these were the institutions who worked for this, for the welfare of the people. Okay, then let us see about the Arya Samaj. The Arya Samaj was founded by Swami Dayanand Saraswati in 1870. Okay, the Arya Samaj. Who founded the Arya Samaj? It was Swami Dayanand Saraswati. He wrote the book Satyarth Prakash as a commentary on Vedas. Okay, now Vedas means it is a belief and ideal of the Vedic religion. Okay, there are four Vedas also. Must be knowing, such as the Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda. Okay, so he wrote a book on it, and he only believed in Vedas. That is the belief and ideas of the Vedic religion. An ancient Vedic religion is true religion which has no place for casteism. What he believed in was only Vedic religion, that is the Vedic religion which prevailed. Only that was true. And he did not believe in other religion. He did not believe in caste. See, the caste system was prevailing, and because of this caste system, only there was inequality in the society. Okay, the Hindus and there was fight between Hindus and Muslim because people were thinking their caste is superior. So what the Arya Samaj promoted was they did not believe in caste system. They hated caste system, and that is why they only focused on the Vedas. That is a Vedic religion. He asserted that there should be gender equality. Now, see, just like the Satyashodak Samaj, even Arya Samaj believed in gender equality, to consider all both the genders as equal. Then go back to the Vedas was the slogan of the Arya Samaj. See, I told you Arya Samaj believed only in the Vedic religion, right? So they had a slogan for themselves. And what was the slogan? Go back to the Vedas. They only told all people of the society, go back to the Vedas, means that go and study only the Vedas. Focus only on the study of the Vedic religion. So remember this. What was the slogan of the Arya Samaj? It was go back to the Vedas. The branches of Arya Samaj was opened all over India. Many education institutions was established through the medium of Arya Samaj. Okay, and many institutions had started all over India. People were supporting, people were coming forward because even people wanted to be educated. People also came to know that yes, I am equal in the society. Okay, everyone got an identity, a true identity, because see, they promoted gender equality. So if there was any gender inequality happening in the society, what the people did, people went and joined these institutions. Okay, this was about the Arya Samaj. Then we have the Ramakrishna Mission. Ramakrishna Mission is the is another institution which was formed. So this institution, it was established by Swami Vivekananda, a close disciple of Ram Krishna Paramhansa in 1897. Okay, in the year 1897, the Ram Krishna Mission was established by Swami Vivekananda. Who established the Ram Krishna Mission? It was Swami Vivekananda. Okay, do not get confused with the names who established with Samaj. Okay, Swami Vivekananda, he established the Ram Krishna Mission. The mission worked for providing help, striking people, help to the poor, female education, and spiritual growth. Okay, so what was their principle? What they focused now in that point of time, when we saw in the uprising of 1857 and all, there were famines and droughts. Okay, such scenes were happening, and the British was not providing any help to the people also. Okay, so what the Ram Krishna Mission did was, the Ram Krishna Mission helped these people. Okay, all the people who were who had faced difficulties, had problems in money, had no food to eat because of the great famines and all. Okay, my voice is breaking. Still my voice is breaking. Okay, so what was the aim of the Ramakrishna Mission? It helped the people to provide food aid, okay, to the poor people, then to help. There were no medical facilities for the poor because, see, the high class people, they were considering these people as the poor people as untouchables, right? So what the Ramakrishna Mission did was, it helped these poor people by providing them medical help. Then it even promoted female education and spiritual growth. Spiritual growth means a religious growth. Then Swami Vivekananda was an excellent orator. Okay, what this orator means, a public speaker. Okay, who is very skilled. So he used to speak in public. He give information, educate the people. Okay, that is why he is considered as an excellent orator. Orator means who speaks orally, who is a speaker. He attended the Parliament of Religion at Chicago in 1893 as a representative of Hinduism. Okay, even in the Parliament of Religion, okay, it was held at Chicago. At that point of time, from India, he had represented the Hindu religion, that is Hinduism. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is achieved was the message given to him by the Indian youth. Okay, so what was the message which was given? Arise, awake. So that means until and unless your goal is not achieved, okay, you should not give up. Okay, that was the main aim. It was a message which was given to him by the Indian youth. Now, this message even you should consider, and you should also follow this, that we should keep on working hard, keep on doing things. Okay, arise, awake, and never stop till your goal is achieved. If you have a goal in mind, you should only focus on that. And for to make it possible, try and do all the things which is required to achieve that goal. Okay, so what was the message? What was the goal of the Ramakrishna Mission? Arise, awake, and stop till the goal is achieved. Then, now see, now even the Sikh people, they had started the reforms, okay, in their religion. So for that, the Sikh Sabha was introduced. The Singh Sabha was established at Amritsar to achieve reforms in Sikh religion, to spread education and to bring about modernization. Later, the Akali movement continued their tradition of reformation. Okay, this Akali movement means the Gurudwara reform movement. So even the Sikh Sabha, even they had started a movement which is known as the Singh Sabha. Okay, now here we are going to see about the conditions of women, okay, during the British time. The position of women was very miserable in India during the British rule. There was no education, no right of education, child marriage, dowry system, sati, keshapan, opposition to widow remarriage act prevailed in the society. Now, see, these were the things which was happening. And because of these things only, the institution had started. Okay, we saw what changes were brought by the institutions. It was just because of these problems. Okay, what was the problem? Child marriage. You know that when the child is born, when the child is small only, the parents used to marry them. Okay, then there was dowry system, asking of money from the bride's family. Okay, in order to get married. Then sati, then keshapan. Okay, now this keshapan, let me tell you, it is a custom, okay, where a woman has to make her bald after husband's death. Okay, that means if the husband dies, okay, the woman has to shave her head and has to stay like that only. She has to remove the hair from her head. That is known as keshapan. Okay, someone is asking about dowry. Dowry means an act in which they ask money from the bride's family. Okay, when the marriage is fixed, the boy's family will demand, like, give me car, give me this much cash, give me lakhs of money. This is known as dowry system. So all these things were prevailing in the society. These things were happening in the society. Then the Governor General Lord Bentinck took help of some social reformers. Okay, reformers, I told you, who brought change in the society were known as reformers. Okay, who were they? Like Raja Mohan Roy to pass the Sati Prohibition Act. Then Gopal Hari Deshmukh, popularly known as Lokak, advocated gender equality through his writings in Shatapatra, okay, in the newspaper. Such people, they promoted education to women to bring about change in the society. Now, through his writings, he gave the message that men and women are considered as equal and one should not discriminate anyone on the basis of gender. Then in 1848, Mahatma Phule started the first school for girls at Bhidewada in Pune, supported by his wife Savitribai Phule. Okay, before that, there was no education for women. Okay, so the first girls' school, it was started by Mahatma Phule in Pune and in the year 1847, and he was supported by his wife Savitribai Phule. Mahatma Phule established the Bal Hatya Pratibandhak Gruha in his own house. He conducted the strike of barbers against the custom of shaving the heads of widows. Okay, so these were the things which was started by Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. Then Gopal Ganesh Agarkar gave his staunch opinion about child marriage and law of consent. Now, this Gopal Ganesh Agarkar, he was an advocate. Okay, so what he did, even he spoke about the Child Marriage Act to stop the Child Marriage Act. Then Maharshi Vittal Ramji Shinde organized a conference against the practice of Devdasi. Okay, this Devdasi was also a practice which was prevailing earlier in the society. Now, this Devdasi means that small children, that means small girls, they were offered to the temples. Okay, and they it was that they will not get married, but they will work only for the temple. They are even known as the temple dancers. Okay, so even this act was stopped. See, these are the names of the different people who worked for the society to bring about the change in the society. Okay, then next, Tarabai Shinde put up her views about women's right in the books Three Purush Tulnas. Three Purush Tulna means equality between men and women. Then next, Maharshi Dongan Karve started the Anath Balika Shram, an orphanage for girls, and set up women's university in the 20th century. Then Maharshi Dondu Karve did, she started the Anath Balika Shram. Okay, that means an orphanage for the girls, and even started university. Now schools were started. Even she started the higher education for women. Okay, that means she started women's university in the 20th century. So this was all about the emancipation, how there was changes, how women's were changed. They brought about a change in the society, and these are the people who are responsible to bring about a change in the society. Now, today, if we live with equality here, okay, it was because of the steps of these people. Then Pandita Ramabai founded Sharda Sadan and took up the responsibility of taking care of the disabled children and women. Now, disabled children means the children who are abnormal. So she took the responsibility of taking care of these children. Then Ramabai Ranade, through the medium of Seva Sadan Institute, started the nursing course for women and right for women. What she did, she started the nursing course so that women also will be included in hospitals. Okay, so started the course. You all know what is a nursing course. Then Dr. Ambedkar spoke about the injustice towards women, and Mahatma Gandhi also advocated education for women. Now, these two names are very popular. Okay, you all know the contribution of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar and Mahatma Gandhi for our Indian society. Okay, so all these things aimed at bringing equality in the society. Now next, there was religious reforms among the Muslim. Now see, everyone, the different samas, the various institution, they aimed at bringing human unity among the society. Okay, mainly for the women and society. Now these reformers, okay, some of the reformers, they turned towards their religion. Okay, and who were these? So first was religious reforms among the Muslims. Abdul Latif started the social reform among the Muslim community. He established the Mohammedan Literary School in Bengal. He started the reform for the Muslim community. It was Abdul Latif. And he even established a society for them, which is named as the Mohammedan Literary Society. Then Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he founded the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, okay, later developed into Aligarh Mumbai University, Muslim University. Then advocated Western science and technology, because he believed that science and technology will only bring people, will only help people to come up in the society. Okay, he did not focus on religion, but his main aim was science and technology. That means studies. What he believed that only when people will study about the science and technology, there will be a change. So he practiced science and technology. Then there was movement reform in the Hindu society. In 1915, Hindu Mahasabha was established to give a respectable position to the Hindu community. Okay, then Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya laid the foundation of Banaras Hindu University. Now see, there was a reform also in the Hindu society. So these were the people who promoted the Hindu reform movement. Okay, they started Hindu university, Hindu communities. And Dr. Keshav Baliram Hegdevar in 1925 established Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh in Nagpur. Its aim was to set up a disciplinary and virtuous organization of an Hindu youth. Okay, it means they promoted Hinduism in short. Okay, discipline, you know, what is discipline, and virtuous means full of virtue. Okay, then V.D. Savarkar built the Patit Pavan temple at Ratnagiri, open to all castes of Hindu religion. Okay, now in Hindu religion also, see, there are many castes of higher caste, lower caste. So, but what they did, they wanted to bring all the Hindu religion also together to bring equality among them. So what V.D. Savarkar did was he built a temple at Ratnagiri which was open to all caste. Okay, the caste in the Hindu religion itself. Then common dining program was also introduced. Now common dining program means so that all the people, that means belonging from the different caste from the Hindu religion itself, they could come together, talk together, so they could build a unity among themselves. Okay, or to build a unity together. Okay, this was their main aim. So all these things they had contributed to bring about reforms in the Hindu society. Okay, so this was about the lesson, social and religious reforms, in which we have seen what changes were brought in the social and religious movement. That is, many institutions that started, and there were many people who aimed at bringing upliftment in the society.